Morning, darlings. How are y'all this morning? I was just sitting there thinking about the last year of my hubby's life and being a caregiver for him. I read information, an article in a book someone wrote today about make sure you take care of yourself as a caregiver. And I know that's something I didn't do the last year of his life because I was taking care of him 24/7 and we were in and out of the hospital all the time. I wasn't worried about myself. I was just worried about making sure I was there for him. I was very blessed that my one son was able to help me so much. And he had a good care team. But the one thing I do want to note, someone told me when I was taking care of him one day that I need to stop spoiling him. And that really broke my heart. I couldn't believe someone would say that. Stop spoiling him. Yes, he was demanding, and it's not his fault. After he started having the seizures, when his colon cancer spread into his lymph nodes and it spread into his lungs, and at the end it was spreading into his brain. And of course, we didn't know for sure until they told us, but when he started having the seizures, that's when they figured it out that last year. And he would see people that wasn't there and talk to people that wasn't there, and it wasn't every day. But I waited on him hand and foot, and he deserved it. He deserved to be treated like the king he was. He was a good man, a good husband, a good father. And when someone told me I needed to stop spoiling him, that really just killed me. I pray that that person someday, if they're sick, someone spoils them. But I just was thinking about it, and I was thinking about how hard it is for caregivers. So I want to make sure to remind you, don't do what I did. Whole story. Do as I say, not as I did, or not as I do. But give yourself time, rest. If you got anyone that can relieve you to sit with your loved one, go out. I mean, the most stressful time with me was appointment days because we'd have to get out and get to the appointment and then get back. And I broke down at the last year, well, not really year, but the last 6 months. And I got to where I did grocery delivery, which was a blessing for that reason. I don't remember having that when my mom was young and she was sick a lot, but we didn't have no money for none of that anyway. So that's another thing. I was blessed to be able to have the money to do grocery delivery and food delivery if I needed it. But my son that lives here was a big help. He would come over every day if he could. And he even spent the nights in the last couple months to help me out. And my other son come to visit it as he could. And I'm thankful for that. And I'm thankful for the time they get to spend together. I do regret that my husband didn't get to see his grandkids as much as he wanted to. That's something it's always been hard for me, and I feel a lot of guilt about it. But at the time, I was so wrapped up in worrying about him and taking care of him, I just couldn't see their pain, you know? And I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for so many things I did or didn't do. And I asked God to forgive me. But all I wanted to do was to make him comfortable as possible. Because he was very weak and very sick, and he wouldn't admit it. He pretended everything was fine. And then there wasn't nothing wrong with him. Because in his mind, he was going to beat this because he had beaten so many things. And I'm sure it didn't help that he had watched me go through chemo and everything many years before and come out doing as well as I did. I'm still sitting here today. I don't know how, but I am. But it breaks my heart that he didn't get to see the loved ones he wanted to see before he passed away. But then he didn't want to see a lot of people, a lot of friends. Like we had to have a trip, and we went to the cancer centers in Arizona, and we have friends in Arizona. But he didn't want to see them because he didn't want them to see him so weak. Because, he lost a lot of weight in September of 23 because of antibiotics. He was on, he had infections and he was on IV antibiotics, and they call IV antibiotics muscle wasting antibiotics. So if you've ever been on antibiotics, be careful of that because it can really damage your muscles and it can make you lose weight, especially if you're bedridden. So, but I know I lost my husband to colon cancer, but basically I lost my husband to the treatment and the complications of colon cancer, and the fact that we didn't find it soon enough, that it had spread so far by the time we found it. And it's just hard. You just do the best you can as a caregiver and as a wife and as a mother and as a grandmother and as a friend. That's all you can do. Well, I'm going to end this video now. I'm not sure. Never know how long I'm supposed to talk. But y'all have a good day now, darlings. God bless.